Hello, I'm Heytrix, and today we're gonna talk about the new Mega video, or whatever you're gonna call it, that was just released. This is gonna be my top 10 features, I guess. It's a strong word, but yeah, coming to Ascension, most of them are features, I guess. So, if you haven't seen it yet, Ascension just released, in my opinion, the video with most changes, but again, Ascension is growing very rapidly these days, so it's almost expected that we get more and more features. So give it a watch. Also, somewhat of a disclaimer, I'm playing on the Elune server. It's not that any of the servers are worse or better than the other. I'm just, in my point of view for this video is that I'm doing the wildcard, the free rolling, and yeah, so just keep that in mind, not doing the free pick. My number 10, and let's just get right into it, if you can call this a feature, but basically just Ascension rolling out the updates right now, 1 week before TBC is out, and that is if you played chapter 2 and endured the lag the servers had, the 2 days, not 2 weeks, if not even more, after the chapter 2 was released, it was rough. It was, I had to take a break from the game. That was more than I could handle, and so I'm really hopeful that this will help the servers, like rolling out the content and not just release everything in 1 day. So just, yeah, slow and steady and get the features out. Number 9, very quickly, but choosing your starting point. Maybe this from my UI soul, the journey. I get a lot of people like actually come to me and say, well, I'm actually totally new to World of Warcraft, so just having different options to help the players, especially veteran players. So if veteran players chooses to, I guess, not deal with new players or not deal with the UI stuff, they can just choose this option and go like that. Number 8, the newcomer overhaul, as they call it. This is, in my opinion, a very good feature. I can really see the possibilities of this being very good. They actually had a feature like this in, I think it was not a season, it was one of the leagues, where they tested out the choose this starting build, get every enchantment, every skill card, everything for it, and didn't play it much, but I heard very good feedback that this is very good. It reminds me of the issue there were where there was not many tanks, not many healers queuing for dungeon, so they gave out free skill cards for new players, so they could just get some of the like impactful tanking and healer mechanics, also to help them through the dungeons at early levels. Because if you just get random stuff, you're just gonna have a hard time healing, tanking, stuff like that through dungeons. And in this modern day and age, where, as they said, they want to keep players and it's gonna be a somewhat enjoyable experience, also for all players, like a veteran playing with someone that have fully random abilities, they're just a larger spectrum between the builds, so they just have to shorten that like difference. I guess my last thing were maybe give them some free cards, and it wouldn't hurt anyone. Speaking of, not cards but scrolls, number 7, the buyback scroll feature, as they're calling it. I am, how do I put this? It's a very nice feature. It's a very nice spotted for the devs that people had issue with this. I also find this a bit annoying sometimes, that I just should think a lot what specs I rerolled, if I would reroll a spec. Like, should I invest in this spec? I only invested in a few specs. Rest of them were just whatever I rerolled. It was only if I could get the other reset feature when something got nerfed. But this feature is very nice. My only issue is I really can't see the reason for this to cost marks of Ascension that you, I guess, already spent for it. So I hope they're very generous with this. Maybe I just have to play with it a bit to see like how it works out. But I think it's good to be a bit skeptic when new features is released, to just like be open-minded for, it's a very good feature, but just keep this in mind when new players are like calling something bad. Number 6, very small feature, but in my opinion a very big one, before this feature, when you clicked on your scroll of fortune, you had a chance to get one scroll to all your specs. So now it's like 100% chance instead. I think it was 20%, maybe 35% before. But like if you want to play an alt, like a different spec, it just wasn't that good. It didn't feel very rewarding. So in my opinion, I think this is a very good feature that is now 100%. The number 5, it's hard to call this a new feature, the inspect feature. So I think you had the possibility to see people's random enchants beforehand. Now you also have the possibility to, I guess, just see the whole thing, the abilities, the talents, stuff like that. And I mean, all in all, I think Ascension really need this. I'm very defendant about the build should just be public. Maybe we should not have like Warcraft logs, but just the balance of the game, like helping new players discover new things. And especially with some of the other changes, I think this is good in order to share out of the builds and have players that get builds nerfed because more people pick up the good builds, have better features for those to have their build nerfed rather than having players needing to keep their builds safe, I guess, put it like that. And a very nice part of the devs that have show like the specialization, so a player cannot just put like the specialization of AFK in the city spec. Number 4, this is not a new feature, but it's not all release and all new chapter where we get the new spells and talents. So I think it's very nice that we get all of the other features and new spells and abilities. It's a bit dangerous to do it like this because it's often that new spells and abilities can be a bit tricky, both balance, bugs, but also just game crashes. So hope it doesn't impact the player experience of TBC coming out, and just very excited. Some of the new things, blessed waves, really just enjoying spells where you can modify new stuff with other talents. Been very strong in season 9 where we had the combination of you being able to both play with Riptide and the blessed wave compared to Area where you have to like change your Riptide into blessed waves. Also Nether Portal, big fan of the Metamorphosis Demonology spec. Raging Riptide, nice with new talents. Really just enjoying that they combine talents and spells. Normally in these cases they would just put out new spells, so very good improvement. So for the Arcane Paladin, as I talked about, this just seems like a new archetype. In my opinion, is a bit more. In previous seasons, like back when legendaries worked like they did before, legendaries were released in like this big paragraph of a lot of things the legendary did, modified abilities, modified talents, and it was a bit overwhelming both to read the legendary and also like players really wanted to just theorycraft with the talent, some of the talents, but was not able to. The devs really wanted to have the archetype be played in like a very specific way, and it was annoying for the devs to balance around it. It was annoying for the players to play with it, have their thing nerfed. So now you can actually just get the whole like paragraph list of things from Arcane Paladin, and if you just want to choose some components, well, you can now actually do so with how season 9 is working. Number 3, maybe this is from my heart of actually studying UI development, but I think we can all agree this looks fucking amazing. Both in level 1, where you can now actually like help new players, limits how much like choice there are, getting like a better progression for new players through level 1 to 10, like limit how much like decisions you have to put at level 1. For veteran players, I don't think it's gonna matter. You can have your damage ability and you're gonna get the rest very quickly. And for the rest, it's I guess the picture says the most of the words. It's amazing. Can't wait to play around with it. Can't wait to theorycraft with better search functions like this. Number 2, again, new feature, question mark. If you're not aware, on Area 52 and back in the previous seasons, we had a hero archetype. So it's basically a place to find build guides in the game without having to go to secondary websites. And it's so nice they're bringing this back. specifically when they're combining it with some feature. Oh, gee, I don't think you can guess what number one I'm gonna talk about is. But yeah, having the hero archetype tech back, it was a lot of issues, I feel, for new players to find help, find guidance, find inspiration in this season without having to go outside of Ascension to look for help. So amazing they're putting this back. I guess the limitation for not having the hero archetype in this season were just how overwhelming, how much, like how season 9 worked with having so many talents. And yeah. And for the honorable mentions, new servers, I am waiting for Conquest of Azeroth to be free to play, and once I can get my hands on it, I'm gonna try it out and really can't wait to, yeah, test it out, spread the word about it, see what it is. And same goes for the original 9 classes. I actually tried out Season of Discovery for the very, very first phase, but it was just very limiting. There was only one best way to play the classes, so it was basically Ascension, but bad. So hope this will be a bit better, and excited to try it out whenever it comes out. And last honorable mention, the special cat form Claws of Shivala from Waters of Draenor. This was teased in a video, and some friends also saw the teaser somewhere else and said that this was gonna come back. Very excited to get my hands on this cat form, and it looks amazing. Yeah, like cat form. And for the number one, you probably guessed it, but yeah, it's rapid rolling, of course. Don't want to make this a complaining video, but having to log into Ascension, looking at my characters with the 600, 900 scrolls, and just thinking about sitting and rolling was actually the thing that made me take a break from Ascension. So I think this is very, very nice spotted from the devs that we're actually getting like an auto roller. I also heard some rumors about there was a weak hour that could do this for the players, but the devs is against players getting passive power while standing FK. But I guess we got it anyway. But rapid rolling, we can now just plug in a build, plug in the list of wands, and actually just get it. This is amazing. Can't wait to see the the complaints about, wow, it rolled over this ability, wow, it didn't give me this talent, wow, it didn't give me this. But everything new feature comes with a risk, and I'll take any risk for like getting this automated, and especially creating videos, doing like that, just having this roll my stuff in the background, doing other stuff meanwhile, especially maybe more for me, I don't know, but very excited for this. And with every new feature, I also want to go over some concerns, and I guess it's a nice feature with the bullet points they made, quickly rolls through a set amount of scrolls, so you can just put it to, hey, only use 100 scrolls, only use 200 scrolls. That was how I took this at least, and it stops whenever you get the selected stuff, or I guess you can like do some settings. Hope they do like a lot of advanced settings, how they wanted this like feature to like work. And how do I put this? I don't understand why you are able to, or why there should be anything in this feature where you have to unlock stuff for this feature to be more impactful or to work more. I mean, maybe it's because like having new players, not having everything automated, and you have to do some work, but I really can't see why this is not just the whole feature. And I guess I just have to get my hands on it, try it out. I'm still super, super excited, don't get me wrong, but I guess it's safer for the devs. Like, players don't want the hand and they take the arm. What is it saying? And yeah, I get it from the devs. Like just like they did it with the scrolls, having a chance to give one for all specializations, now changing it later on. I think the devs just in general should be more, just throw it out there. Players, so much feedback, especially this season, of just please give us something to help out with the amount of scrolls, the amount of rolling, the amount of lack of playing other specs. But this is in the right direction. Once again, very nice spotted from the devs, and can't wait to play around with it. And yeah, that was my top 10 list. Let me know in the comments if you agree or if I missed some feature. This is like the very hollow, like what I paid attention to. There was probably a lot more for PvP players, for others, but I think this will like hit a very broad spectrum of players. And yeah, can't wait to jump into TBC with all this. So see you guys in TBC. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.